Championship. It's week 5 of the Big 3 season from Milwaukee, passing the midway points of the regular season on Triller and Fight TV. Let's take a look at the Big 3 standings. One unbeaten, that's the triplets, but a number of teams on their heels, each with 3 victories, including the Ghost Ballers, and they've got the opening game here in Milwaukee. Let's take a look at the full lineup. Ghost Ballers and 3's company to kick it off, followed by Power and Tri-State. It wraps up in Game 6 with the Aliens and the Enemies. And welcome, I'm Emmett Cohen. Great to be joined by somebody who knows quite a thing or two about rings and medals, the Hall of Famer, Lisa Leslie. Here we are in Milwaukee. It feels like the center of the basketball universe.
Well, Ed, I can't tell you how much these fans already understand and have a high basketball IQ because they watched the Milwaukee Bucks win the championship. So here they'll have a chance to watch the Big 3 live in action.
And they'll watch one of their favorite sons. For the Ghost Ballers, Mike Taylor, he is back in his home city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Well, unfortunately, Mike Taylor in week 3 got into an altercation and was ejected. And according to Mike, he believes if he wasn't ejected, they would have won that game and would be undefeated. But you know what? He gathered himself and came back week 4 and became a highlight reel. 22 points. He was phenomenal all over the place. 3 rebounds, 6 steals. Like, he is such the Energizer Bunny, if you will, of this team.
Lisa, Mike Taylor has scored at least 20 points in 3 out of the Ghost Ballers' 4 games. Ricky Davis is the captain. No Craig Smith this weekend in Milwaukee and Chicago for the Ghost Ballers. But the Iceman, he has figured out a thing or two in his day. George Gervin leading the Ghost Ballers once again.
Iceman, number 44. And you know his jersey hangs in the rafters at the San Antonio Spurs. This guy was a prolific scorer and one of the top 50 all-time NBA players.
Well, the opponent for the Ghost Ballers in Game 1 is 3's company. Close loss last week in Dallas to Tri-State, but Mario Chalmers, when he finds his spot, as dangerous as any scorer in the league.
Well, absolutely. We know the 2-time NBA champion of the Miami Heat knows a 2 or 3 about putting that ball in the basket, but I love the fact that he doesn't settle for the jumper first. He attacks the basket, and what happens is he puts the defense on notice that he can get to the basket, so he can do what he really wants to do, and that is spot up from the 3-point shot. He will knock down 3-pointers all day. They're really going to have to keep an eye on that matchup with Chalmers and Taylor.
Here it is, the roster breakdown for 3's company. DerMarr Johnson, the captain. Drew Gooden up front as well, and some additions in David Hawkins and Arinze Onuaku. Well, Michael Cooper, legendary defender back in the day with the Lakers, year number 3. Lisa leading 3's company.
Michael Cooper, who was also my coach in the WNBA, won 2 championships with him. And I just want to put this out there for everybody. Michael Cooper should be in the Hall of Fame. He is a 5-time NBA champion, a 5-time all-defensive player. And who said he was the toughest player? Larry Bird. If that's not enough, mic drop right there. Get that man in the Hall of Fame quickly.
Spoken like a Hall of Famer and someone from Los Angeles.
Absolutely.
All right. Rules of the Big 3 presented by Verizon. First to 50 wins. We'll get to the break when one team scores 25. There's no game clock. Free throws, you get 1 shot for either 2 points, 3, or 4. And yes, the 4-point shot, unique to the Big 3. 3 4-point circles, each 30 feet away. Play Big 3 Fantasy only on the Super Draft app. You can win a trip to the Big 3 Finals in the Bahamas. Use code Big3 for an instant $30 deposit match. Let's do it. Chalmers ready. 3's company ready. Taylor back in his hometown. Game number 1.
And you can see already Mike Taylor picking up like it's a full court game. He's matched up on Chalmers, and he wants him to know he will be in his grill. But David Hawkins has something to say about that as he knocks down the jumper.
And Lisa looking at the 3 on the floor for 3's company. Chalmers, Gooden, and Hawkins. Taylor against Chalmers. There's the matchup. It's going to be fun to watch in Game 1. Look at him go. Draws a double. Chris Johnson can't hit.
Well, Chris Johnson, the player that I picked in the draft, a very good player, outside shooter, can get to the basket, and he's going to have to make sure he steps up because they're going to need him. He has the size advantage, but Hawkins here from the outside, he knows he's going to have to put that ball in the basket if 3's company wants to get a win today.
So for the Ghost Ballers, you have Mike Taylor with Chris Johnson and Ricky Davis. Chalmers using the screen to knock down the long two against Mike Taylor.
And Chalmers does a nice job. He had 26 points last week. He needs some help. Hawkins brought in just to do that.
Taylor airballs the three. For you, I mean, you played for the Sparks bulk of your WNBA career, but is there something about returning to your hometown and playing before some friends and family?
Well, absolutely. It depends on how much rest you got. You know, we're in Mike Taylor's town. He had Mike Taylor Day yesterday. So there, as Ricky Davis knocks down that jumper. So Mike Taylor could come out a little bit too anxious. A lot of friends and family here.
4-2 3's company. Early going of game one. Hawkins out of a double. Drew Gooden launching. Nails the three. Good start for Michael Cooper's team, leading by 5.
Well, I got a chance to talk to Michael Cooper, and although his team has not, they have been struggling in the Big 3. He said today they're going to get a win because they're going to share the ball better and do a better job of rebounding. And there you go, right on cue.
Gooden, another one. Davis clears. Davis, quick release, hits the corner tray. Ricky Davis, the captain, answering for the Ghost Ballers.
And I believe Ricky Davis really part of the glue. You know, Mike Taylor's going to give you everything he has, but Ricky Davis, when he's solid and consistent for them, they do big things. Now, Drew Gooden right here, he has a size advantage because what happens is Ghost Ballers, they like to switch, which will give him an opportunity to step out and knock down that jumper. He's got to be consistent today.
You forget how good a three-point shooter Drew Gooden can be. He was 5th in threes made in 2019, has made 1, blocked there, and can track it down. I believe it was deflected by Johnson. That's what Michael Cooper's saying.
Well, Michael Cooper's always right. That ball was deflected, and the officials got that call right.
When you can rock the high socks like he did as a player, you've got to feel good. He's pretty confident about arguing the call.
Well, you know, he was the top defender, like I said, 5-time all-defensive team. So Michael Cooper knows a thing or two. And another thing he talked about is rebounding. The importance of this team rebounding today for 3's company. They have got to not get out-hustled by Ghost Ballers, which this team probably one of the best teams in terms of their effort. Both guys with Taylor and Davis, 6 assists per game, and there's a steal right there on cue. So you have to take care of the ball. They both will steal the ball and turn you over and get quick points there.
All of a sudden, it was a 7-2 3's company lead, a 7-2 response from the Ghost Ballers to tie the game at 9. Chalmers picked up by Johnson. Good looking. Davis was fronting Hawkins. Drew Gooden. Chalmers now to beat the 14. Shot won't go. Here's the rebounding you were talking about. Gooden picks it up, flicks it up and in. He wanted a foul too on Ricky Davis.
Well, that was a good job. Davis had it and just lost it underneath. Gooden, smart play to put that ball in the basket.
Gooden with 7 of the first 11 for 3's company. Man down. And before the foul, timeout, Michael Cooper with 3's company up on the Ghost Ballers, 11-9.
I think Michael Cooper is really trying to take more control of his team and let them try and not just overdo it and just settle for basic shots, but really set up something every time. I got a chance to talk to him again before this game, and he talked about ball movement, their team being a little bit more patient and getting good shots.
Well, Lisa, let's take a look at the Microsoft Player of the Week. And this has been a common theme this season. Really no surprise. You know what it's all about. Joe Johnson, your star player, receiving 58% of the vote. Scored 23 last week in your win over the enemies.
Well, what I love is that this is sort of a say less season, if you will. Hashtag say less. Let your actions speak for yourself. For Joe Johnson to receive Player of the Week, I think anything else would just be uncivilized. He is the best player in the Big 3. He's an excellent player, both ends of the floor, whether it's not both ends, but both sides of the ball, offense, defense, his rebounding, his assists, his leadership, and his ability to make his teammates better. He makes everybody around him better, including myself. And so he's unstoppable. What else can we say about ISO Joe?
Look at the numbers and what he's doing, accounting for so much scoring for your team. By the way, triplets, three-headed monsters, that's game 5 of 6. So you have 3 games to broadcast, and you have 1 game before yours comes up. It's a busy day for you, for the triplets here in Milwaukee today.
And I wouldn't have it any other way, Ed. I love every minute of it. This Big 3, it's exciting to watch these guys. I'm a fan, also a coach, but a fan of the game. And if I wasn't here, I would be at home watching as that clock expires and that basket does not count. I would be at home watching, talking about it anyway.
14-second violation, David Hawkins. So for the Ghost Ballers now, Davis, Taylor, and Johnson. Ricky Davis inbounds, then drills the jumper, and pointing at the passer, Mike Taylor.
Well, that was an excellent play on the sideline out of bounds with Davis coming off strong, and it was his speed that really got him that shot.
9-4 run for the Ghost Ballers. Tie game. Chalmers, Taylor stripped him at the 4-point circle, and the ball was kicked off of Chalmers. And how about Taylor there with the fist bump there, the official David Posner.
Well, Taylor's going to give you everything he has with his defense. And when you look at how Mike Taylor plays, I'm not sure what the Milwaukee Bucks are looking at, but I know that they are a championship team. They're going to have to get better, and Mike Taylor would make them better. His ability to score, his ability to guard the ball full court. He's a point guard, he's a shooting guard, and he has the same type of energy that Giannis Antetokounmpo has. And I think that it would behoove them to really take a good look at this guy to see how Mike Taylor can really help them do what I'm sure every team wants to do, and that's the repeat, just like us.
Oh, Lisa, it's amazing. Mike Taylor, he played 1 NBA season with the Clippers in 2008-2009, and he said, looking back at the experience, hey, sometimes you don't stick it in the NBA, you get trapped overseas for a decade, but given the opportunity, he shines in the Big 3. Early going Ghost Ballers and 3's company. Got a good one in Milwaukee. He is Milwaukee's own Mike Taylor, a pillar of the community, starting the Taylor-Made Foundation, MKE, giving back to his hometown, particularly underprivileged youth in the inner city, doing it through sports. Mike Taylor previously had his jersey retired by Marshall High School, the city of Milwaukee, celebrating Mike Taylor Day yesterday here in the Cream City. And the Ghost Ballers star with the 3rd member of our team, John Sally, with Mike Taylor.
Hey, Mike, I'm so happy to be here a day after Mike Taylor Day. You didn't even tell me to come in town.
Man, it was a last-minute thing. We were supposed to be in New Orleans, so I thought we was going to be out there. So the schedule shift, everything just aligned perfectly, man. So,
well, Lisa Leslie was in. She is your agent. She's your cheerleader. She said that Milwaukee Bucks should be looking at you because of the leadership and the intensity you bring. You also bring it to the Ghost.
Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I second that. You know what I'm saying? I second that notion. I feel like the hometown hero need a legit shot with the Bucks. So we're making that case. Let's go.
He said it.
All right, John. I think
no pressure.
Had a commission there, Lisa.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it if I didn't really believe it. Mike Taylor is the first person here at the gym getting his shots up every single game, every week. He's ready. He's picking up. You know, he puts the pressure on. He's tops and steals. So we have more than one player in this league that can obviously compete in the NBA, but Mike Taylor is definitely one of those players.
Still scoreless, trying to get on the board. Mike Taylor does. You can't keep him scoreless for that long. Ghost Ballers lead by 5.
Yeah, and Mike Taylor, he knows I'm talking about him, knocking down the 3 right there. But, you know, these guys, they really deserve an opportunity to live out their dreams. And if you're capable of doing it and you're here in your hometown, you can bring fans, you know, continuously bring more people to watch the game. This guy, he is amazing. He really is. It's been great watching.
35 years old, always representing Milwaukee as good, and draws the foul on Johnson. And now we'll go to the line for a 2-point shot. Mike Taylor from the zip code of 53206. From a tough part of Milwaukee, but giving back at every turn. And, you know, the Big 3 had to reschedule out of New Orleans to Milwaukee, and no one happier about that move than Mike Taylor.
Absolutely, and if there's anyone who wants to learn more about his foundation, you can find it at TaylorMadeFoundation414.org.
Here in game 1, Ghost Ballers with the ball leading by 3. Taylor trying to dance around Chalmers. Does not like the call, but it's on 3's company and their star Mario Chalmers.
That's tough because you can see Taylor, who comes around. There's the foul there, but they didn't call that foul. But here, Mario Chalmers just takes the ball and they call it when, you know, late call. But Taylor deserved that.
Johnson, no. Chalmers with the rebound. Chalmers with 2 fouls. If you pick up 3 in the first half, you need to sit for the rest of the half. Chalmers right at Taylor. A lot of contact. And Chalmers will get a 2-point shot going right at the Milwaukee native.
Well, that was the smart move because you can see, you know Mike Taylor's going to go for the steal if you put the ball back or you cross it over in front of him. Smart move by Chalmers to keep the ball on the right, keep Taylor over on the left, and just take him all the way to the basket. If you want to beat the Ghost Ballers, you're going to have to go at Mike Taylor because he is the heart and soul of the team.
Here's Chalmers at the foul line. Missed it short, and Taylor with the rebound. Stop and go dribble. Taylor loops it up and scores over Gooden without using glass. What an adjustment by Mike Taylor.
Mike Taylor put so much pressure on the guards. His ability to jump, his athleticism, his ball handling skills. He's able to get to the basket on almost anyone. So that makes it tough for them.
Ooh, spin cycle. But Hawkins can't get the roll. Knocked out. It'll be Ghost Ballers basketball.
When you talk about Mike Taylor, again, going to the basket, he's dealing with contact. Nice little baby hook. I see you, Mike Taylor. I can always appreciate a hook shot anywhere in the paint.
He's in the right city. A guy named Lou Alcindor, before he became Kareem, called it home. Gooden to the block. In midair, Taylor with the stick back, and that's the danger when you airball right around the rim.
Do not airball. I mean, hit the rim, do something, but don't airball because it's just easy money for the other team.
DerMarr Johnson, Hawkins, 5 to shoot. Johnson, the captain, against Taylor. Good D, flings it up, and a 14-second violation here on 3's company, and Taylor's starting to really make his mark on both ends.
Well, right now, I think Michael Cooper needs a timeout just to regroup his guys. That's 2 air balls in a row, which are lost possessions. And possessions are hard to come by. When you have an opportunity to score, you really have to take advantage of it.
Chris Johnson against Gooden, drawing the foul and a chance at 3 for the former LSU elite shot blocker.
Yes, Chris Johnson again. I told you this is the guy, my #1 pick in the draft in 2019. I ended up trading him for Jamario Moon, which was a great trade for us, but I knew Chris had so much upside to him. So he's having a phenomenal season, this second season for sure.
3-point play. Lisa, Chris Johnson, #2 all-time in block shots at LSU. Obviously, #1 did a few things. A man named Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, of course. And his ability to block shots is just one part of his game. He's a nice shooter from outside at his height. Can really knock down the 3-pointer. He has nice touch. Hits his free throws. Good rebounder.
Taylor, a little short. Onuaku thought about chasing. Instead, will let it bounce out of bounds.
Well, that was a smart play to let it go out of bounds instead of the big fella trying to dive after it. Now you get a chance to set it up, and hopefully they'll run a play and execute.
Onuaku with DerMarr Johnson and David Hawkins against Taylor, Scales, and Johnson. Nice look. Onuaku with the strength and the finish. Michael Cooper, little fist pump there. Chance at 3 for Arinze Onuaku.
Well, that was a great pass for Hawkins to Onuaku to get inside because he had beaten Taylor, but Chris Johnson does a nice job coming over to help. That's the right pass. Drop it off to the big fella, let him finish on the inside.
Mike Taylor getting a breather. That was his 2nd foul. Remember, you get a max of 3 in the first half. Arinze Onuaku added in recent weeks. Played 3 NBA seasons. Total of 19 games out of Syracuse. Alex Scales on the drive to the basket. Cups it and scores. And we bit the break in Milwaukee. Ghost Ballers ending with a flurry and a 9-point lead.
Well, Scales just added to the team, and he is a prolific three-point shooter, but uses his quickness. Chalmers, he takes him straight to the basket. You got to know your personnel. You may not want to get that close and be ready for the drive.
Alex Scales and the Ghost Ballers down 7-2 early. They closed the first half on a 23-9 run. Good start as they seek their 4th win in week 5 of the Big 3 season. We're off and running. First of 6 in Milwaukee. Ghost Ballers on top of 3's company on Triller and Fight. We want you to be part of the postseason, the Big 3 playoffs and championship in the Bahamas. Tickets are on sale now. You can get them at big3.com/tickets, and we'll see you later this year in paradise. Welcome back inside Fiserv Forum. Ed Cohen with the Hall of Famer and coach of the triplets, Lisa Leslie. Ghost Ballers down a bit early, but Mike Taylor and company rally back a 9-point lead at the break here in game 1.
Well, a lot of that has to do with Mike Taylor, but also that second effort. When you look at the rebounds, the leadership comes from the 8 Ghost rebounds, but Taylor, again, the knockdown three-point shot, he can get it down from outside, but it's his basketball penetration with a nice running hook. He's like, get some. And then that offensive board, again, air balls, you can rebound and put that. Mike Taylor putting a lot of pressure on 3's company.
Well, the Ghost Ballers looking to make it back-to-back wins, get to 4-1 on the season. Head coach George Iceman Gervin. He is with John Spider Sally.
Iceman, you got a great guy right there, Mike Taylor Day, and it looks like you guys are going to win today, huh?
It ain't over yet. You know, you can't get lost like that. You know, you got to work. The guys are working. You know, we started off kind of slow and kind of see where they was, and they come into play. So I want to see what kind of character my guys got to finish it.
Okay, so you don't just go into them, Ice, with all of that bravado and say, hey, let's go ahead, get this out of the way real quick.
You kind of embellishing it, but we going to get it done, though.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
All right, guys.
Oh, you got to love Iceman. He's funny. That little accent, I love it. We going to get it done, though.
Detroit's finest. Hall of Famer in 1996, Lisa, 9-time NBA All-Star, and asked George Gervin a couple of years ago before a Big 3 event, hey, who are the 2 guys you'd pick for your 3-on-3 team? He said, Magic Johnson, you need a passer, and Kareem, because it's an unstoppable shot. That would be quite a trio.
An amazing trio. Magic Johnson and Kareem, and anybody could probably make it happen, because you're talking about an unstoppable post player that could score, I mean, at will. No one could stop him. He either missed it or it went in. And then you have Magic, who was, you know, Magic's Magic. Magic makes everybody better at all times. His ability to pass, shoot, and just encourage. And then the defense, well, you know, they would be able to shut him down. Iceman was a prolific scorer as well. So that's an amazing 3-on-3 group.
Dare I ask you your all-time 2 teammates for your 3-on-3 team?
Well, I'm always going to go with, you know, Dawn Staley and Cheryl Swoops, because that's my 3. That's my, you know, part of my team. We were the first 3 playing in with the fellas in the park in the cage. So, but here you got an offensive. Oh, well, no, that was not called offensive, was it? Or it was?
It was.
Oh, okay. I thought it was an offensive foul. Yeah, Taylor. Is that his 3rd foul? Oh, this is the second half, so it starts over. He has 1.
It moves quickly.
Yep.
DerMarr Johnson over Scales. Air ball tipped. Taylor right there to clean it back up. Corsley Edwards able to keep the rebound alive.
Whatever you do, don't shoot an air ball in the Big 3. Man.
11-point Ghost Ballers lead. Major edge on the glass. Onuaku, Taylor reaching for the strip. And a whistle. And another foul.
Well, nice job. But Ghost Ballers, when you shoot an air ball, it's just easy. It's not even, I mean, basketball. My son could come in and sub in and catch a ball and put it back up. So you got to hit the rim, and that's the tough part about it. It's very physical out here.
One of the tenants. Chalmers off the screen. Tipped by Johnson. Race Taylor against Onuaku. Ghost Ballers ball. Michael Cooper is right in front of him, trying to plead his case to no avail.
Well, he can always review it if he's not happy with the call. Just review it.
Scales in front of the arc, nails it. A long two for Alex Scales, the age of 43, from Racine, Wisconsin.
That was the dagger right there. I think that's the moment where you can see that 3's company is just sort of like, today's not our day. And you can't do that because there's a lot of time. And sometimes, no matter how far you're down, there's always an opportunity. Scales does a nice job coming off. No defense, there's no one there with a hand in his face. So, you know, of course, everybody can hit open jumpers. Well, mostly everybody.
Chalmers' little globy move, lost the handle, nearly got it back, as Edwards may have gotten a piece. Corsley Edwards out there for the Ghost Ballers with Taylor and Scales. For 3's company, Lisa, you have Chalmers, Onuaku, and DerMarr Johnson.
Yeah, 3's company, they really need to execute a play here. Right now, it just comes down to taking care of the ball more than anything else. Who's going to take care of the ball?
Now, did Chalmers get a piece and trying to pick it up? It definitely was touched by Corsley Edwards.
Yes, I believe they have the call right. They're just trying to get the shot clock right, which now there's 10 seconds left on the clock.
Chalmers chased by 3 defenders to Johnson. Too much. Onuaku. Nice switch and the scoop before the clock expired.
That was nice, but what's up with the air balls? Man, there is no way. You can't stand out there as a three-point shooter for your team and not hit the rim. Like, you got to come up with that. 3's company, 3 or 4 opportunities to get some baskets here. And Ghost Ballers is a team where you have to take advantage of every single possession because Mike Taylor makes a difference with his offense as well as his defense.
Chalmers airballing a 4-point shot, and Scales was there to clean it up. Now, the ruling is it was a violation, and Ghost Ballers are saying that Scales had caught it before it expired. Now, the whistle came in quickly, and they're going to count the basket, give the Ghost Ballers 2 points.
Absolutely. I thought it was a good, well, he rebounded and put it up. Unless they're going to replay it, then you know what they say, keep it moving.
But to your point, I mean, the air balls, if you were coaching one of these teams, I think they'd be in the gym early the next day practicing.
Johnson's got it. He finally hits the basket, and I'm assuming because he's at the 3 position that he is the scorer, the shooter.
31-21 Ghost Ballers. Scales almost halfway down, but missed.
Okay, that was a nice box out rebound. Now, what are they going to run anything? Oh, there's a mismatch going on the inside. Taylor with another foul.
Fourth overall, second since the break for Mike Taylor.
Okay, so 4th team foul, which means you get an opportunity to get into the bonus early, and that's going to be good for 3's company if they recognize that they are having the opportunity to continue to attack the basket and stay aggressive and not settle for jumpers at this point.
Look at Chalmers. Oh, got caught in the string of Edwards, and Taylor's open as a result. Almost in and out. Rebound Chalmers. You don't see that every day, do you?
No, he got caught on the string, the shorts of the opponent. Interesting.
Johnson, no. Taylor. Edwards. Still, string is still hanging out from the short. Shot so good, and Onuaku's there. Chalmers. Air ball. Scales back it up once again.
Wow, 3's company really just putting themselves in the digging a hole, man. You're digging a hole, but Ghost Ballers, give them credit. They're staying with it. They're active, hitting shots and catching air balls.
Michael Cooper wants a timeout. Second half of game 1. Ghost Ballers leading 33-21. Lisa, 8 points for the Ghost Ballers off air balls by 3's company.
Well, that's one way to lose a game, is just not to hit the rim, and that makes it very simple for the Ghost Ballers. They don't have to work that hard. But what I would do as the coach of 3's company is for them to recognize they have got to be aggressive, use some pump fakes, and get fouled underneath the basket so that you can then go to the free throw line and get 2 points for 1. That's how you make up this deficit at this point.
3's company huddling up. So are the Ghost Ballers. George Gervin, the Iceman, is mic'd up.
You know that young boy scared of you right here.
Yeah, of course, of course.
All right.
Here.
Leave the referees alone. Put them on your side. They ball. We playing D. I like where we at. Like I said, I like our tempo. We just not starting to roll. We just not starting to roll.
You know they scared of you. That boy that's scared of you. Oh, he sounds like a character in a movie. I love the sound of Iceman's voice. Pumping up his players, though, that's what you're supposed to do. Give them that confidence. Make them feel like they are unstoppable. And therefore, they go out there and they play unstoppable.
It's amazing. George Gervin led the NBA in scoring 4 times. That's third most in history. Wilt Chamberlain led the league 7 times. Michael Jordan 10 times. As a violation here on 3's company. But the Iceman, 3rd highest total in terms of leading the NBA in scoring in a single season.
Well, Iceman was, like I said, a prolific scorer. And when I say prolific, I mean a person who can put that ball in the basket running. He's a scorer, not a shooter. And so that's why he got the nickname Iceman, because he made it look so easy. He was cold.
Chalmers tried a 4-point shot and out of bounds to the Ghost Ballers. So right now, Lisa, Ghost Ballers leading 3's company 33-21. It's a big game for 3's company. They're 1-3 and trying to stay within striking distance of a playoff spot.
Well, it's going to have to happen with their defense and their offensive execution. Again, having the opportunity to be in the bonus, you got to get to the basket. But that's all right, because Ricky Davis got answers, and he's like, hey, the Ghost Ballers are in the house. They're here to stay. They have a really good team. They play well together. Their team chemistry is excellent. And they're involved. They're in every single possession.
Right now enjoying their biggest lead, 35-21.
And here again, Ricky Davis with the pull-up. Hawkins, no contest. He didn't put a hand up, so he made it easy.
Davis got his man up, dished it off, and the steal and finish. Mario Chalmers ending that run for the Ghost Ballers. Chalmers last week scoring 26 for 3's company, and right now with 4 points here in Milwaukee. Davis slips it, Johnson the roll, and the slam. Chris Johnson skying for the stuff. And we've hit the 37-point mark, a 14-point lead for the Ghost Ballers.
Ghost Ballers looking good, and when you look at this pick and roll, textbook Chris Johnson rolls to the basket and throw it down, big fella. Get up there, I love it. Stay with us on the Big 3.
Largest lead right now for the Ghost Ballers. Chris Johnson has led the way, Lisa, with 11 points here against 3's company.
Chris Johnson has been very consistent, especially today, doing a nice job of just, you know, hey, he'll box out, rebound, doing some of the dirty work. He knows he has 2 prolific guards on his team, so he gets to the basket on the inside. Again, he has nice touch, and I told you before, his ability to shoot, but throwing it down is what he loves to do. Go ahead, big fella. Chris Johnson leading his team with 11 points and 3 rebounds.
How about the balance? 11 for Johnson, 9 each for Davis and Taylor, and Scales with 8 for the Ghost Ballers.
And that's what makes them tough, because they share the ball well. They are not concerned about the eye. They are a team. And, well, that's how you win.
Chalmers walking the tightrope, knocked away. It's going to stay with 3's company, but finding that secondary score is a problem last week for 3's company. And again, Chalmers really handling the load right now.
Yes, and Drew Gooden got it going a little bit. He had 9 points, but, you know, it's going to be important for them to get more defensive stops more than anything else, and then find a way to share that ball.
Scales tipped around. Gooden, man up. Can't connect, but he's going to the line for a 2-point shot on the foul from Alex Scales.
And when you look at Drew Gooden, he comes up with this nice pump fake. Gotta finish that. Like, he was right there, and you want to put that ball in the basket. But here he has an opportunity at the line. And listen, if they don't like the call, they can always bring the fire. You know, whenever you don't like the call, there's no reason to argue about it anymore. As long as the ball hasn't been put in the basket, a team has the option to bring the fire. 1 per half.
Drew Gooden navigating the 15 feet for a 2-point shot. The lead is 12 for the Ghost Ballers, so await our first Bring the Fire challenge here in Milwaukee. Scales strip, steal from Chalmers, fouled on the baseline. We'll see if they give him the free throw here. Looks like they'll put it on the side.
No, well, there's 5 team fouls, so when you 16 fouls now. So when you look at this, the foul was a push, but they automatically get a chance to go to the free throw line.
Mike Taylor back in for the Ghost Ballers. Alex Scales back to the bench. Mario Chalmers, 2019 member of the Three-Headed Monsters, and 2 years later now with 3's company. 2-point free throw.
So now it's the make it take it, because the Ghost Ballers have 6 team fouls, and this will give 3's company what I've been talking about for the last 5 minutes. If they recognize that they were in the bonus, to take the ball to the basket and stay aggressive.
David Hawkins on cue, Lisa.
Well, they're a little late with it, but you know, better late than never. Stay aggressive, get to the basket, get some fouls, put yourself in a situation to catch up quickly with free throws.
Loose ball foul. This is Johnson from behind against Gooden, and since it was a loose ball foul, another free throw coming up for Gooden.
Absolutely. So here you have again another opportunity. The ball was moved around great. They were able to get that easy layup, but now here you go with Gooden again, getting an offensive foul, which allows him to get to the line again. Well, who got the offensive foul? Johnson. So here they are again, shooting free throws.
You make this. Right now it's a 6-0 run. And for 3's company, 8 straight points. All of a sudden, it's a 6-point game after they trailed by 14 points.
Well, now 3's company walking around, believing a little bit more now with their chest out, and you have an opportunity. But guess who's still on the floor? Mike Taylor with that locked-up defense, and he's doing everything he can to try to keep this ball out of Chalmers' hand.
Chalmers getting by him, stumbling, missing. Hawkins cleaning it up with a little kiss off the heel. And the run continues, 10 straight for 3's company. Taylor trying to snap that run against Chalmers. Launches, halfway down, no. Gooden.
And this is the point where I feel like 3's company does not do a good job. You know, they had an opportunity to really set and run a play, and they didn't. They lost that opportunity.
Taylor spins, good D by Hawkins. Chalmers in no rush.
But how about a pick and roll? Get into something where you find some movement or try to take advantage of the, you know, of the small. But instead they don't. Everybody's one-on-one, and that's the difference between the teams at the top. And
Davis.
the teams fighting to get to the top.
And you watch right now as the run comes to an end. Davis halts a 10-0 spurt, but familiarity. You have 3's company, you have some new faces, Ghost Ballers. These guys have played together for a while. And we get a timeout now from Michael Cooper with his team trailing 39-33.
You're right. I think the opportunity to run a play and find some type of play with movement, with some cohesion together, 3's company missed that opportunity. And of course, Ghost Ballers, they know each other. They know exactly where they want their shots, how they're going to get it. And so they're just more poised. And they were able to come and break that scoring streak that was happening.
Well, Lisa, back by popular demand, George Gervin for the Ghost Ballers, mic'd up here in Milwaukee.
See what they gonna do. They trying to shoot jumpers. Now it's time to play. Oh, Big Daddy! Come on, Butterfingers! Come on, big fella!
It's so funny. George, he's just like the cheerleader over on the side. He got comedy and everything. Butterfingers for the big fella. Got to catch that ball, big fella.
Looks like a guy who's been golfing a lot lately. Having a good summer. Iceman's team up by 6. Johnson over Davis. Nails the three. DerMarr Johnson and 3's company shipping away. Down 14 and now within 3 here in Milwaukee.
Well, DerMarr Johnson really owed his team that. He shot 2 or 3 air balls earlier, so for him to come up with that.
Hawkins, no. Johnson able to clear it. Davis over Johnson. Taylor, second effort, hangs, can't finish. Climbing against Hawkins. And Mike Taylor with the energy, getting the rebound, and now a 2-point shot.
Well, no rebounds, no win. And that is where the game is won. Mike Taylor with that extra effort, getting on the inside. He takes it to the basket. Of course, he called him for the and one, but that it didn't go in. But that effort is what gets Ghost Ballers this possession.
Taylor true on the 2-point shot. Hometown kid from Milwaukee. Began his college career in junior college, followed by Iowa State. Johnson spins and hits over Taylor. DerMarr Johnson knocking down some shots since the break.
DerMarr Johnson really coming on for his team, and he's the shooter of the group. He's supposed to knock down those buckets and doing a much better job here in the second half.
Taylor with the answer. Just a cool 3 up the dribble for Mike Taylor, and they are 6 points away, the Ghost Ballers.
Mike Taylor looking like that's just too easy. You better put a hand up, because we know already the saying, hand down, man down. And clearly Johnson didn't get the memo.
Timed out by Davis with the rebound. Johnson not ready. Now they need to clear it, and they do. Taylor on an island. Gets by Johnson to the rim. Missed the runner. But that burst of speed, impressive.
Oh, Mike Taylor came up a little gimpy on that. Not sure if he's hurt, but on that drive, he looks like he may have pulled something.
Timeout from the Iceman. And Taylor, as you mentioned, slowly making his way back to the bench. Let's look.
Well, he drove to the basket here, and I'm not sure, his landing could be cramping, not sure. Let's just hope for the best that maybe he caught a little cramp or something in his leg. But sometimes when you don't come down and there's no one really around that caused you to have a problem, it could be serious. So we know Mike Taylor, he's a fighter, and if he can get up and play, he will for sure.
Let's take one more look.
Oh, could have been right there on that. His leg was a little wobbly on the drive. Let's hope Mike Taylor can return to the game for sure.
Lisa, Ghost Ballers with 5 available. Craig Smith is inactive for this week. And Taylor's going to get a breather here. Alex Scales in along with Chris Johnson and Ricky Davis.
And they don't miss, well, they miss a lot with Taylor off the floor, but Scales, another player who can really put the ball in the basket. Davis the captain will step up big here in these last few minutes.
Another rebound, offensive, another putback for Scales, and it's point game for the Ghost Ballers, 46-38 lead.
Well, we know a 4-pointer can close this game out. It's going to be important for Chalmers and 3's company to really get a good shot here.
Chalmers step back. That's short, rebound Ghost Ballers. Scales shakes free over Gooden. Alex Scales, pull-up jumper's good, and they're 2 points from victory.
Yeah, Scales, a nice shooter. He can score from 3, has nice pull-up jumpers, can get to the rim, fast mover. So you got to understand the defense has to understand the matchups and who they're guarding and how do you get them to their weakness. And that time, he just had the ability to pull up over the top.
The good teams in this league, they find a way to dig deep. A 7-0 run here from the Ghost Ballers, and Ricky Davis is yelling at George Gervin, hey, bring the fire, challenge this. Only a coach can do it.
Well, they want to bring the fire. Here they come. Let's go! This is my favorite part. I love bringing the fire because Ricky Davis is like, let's do it. He's telling his coach, I got this. Let me D up, because what would have happened is they would have shot They would have shot the free throw for 2 points. If the free throw was made, they would have gotten the ball back. So to bring the fire, you still put yourself in the same situation, but Ricky Davis is like, count on my defense right here.
Taco Bell bring the fire. George
Taco Bell bring the fire. I'm excited. Yeah. Let's go.
Here are the rules. It begins just outside the arc. You have 3 seconds to get inside the three-point line and 10 seconds to get a shot away. DerMarr Johnson against Ricky Davis. Here's how it's gone this year. The 26th challenge in the Big 3. 15 wins for the offensive team and 10 for the defensive team. Johnson with the length. Davis, lower center of gravity. Johnson, no good. Davis defends it well. Ghost Ballers bring the fire, and they win the challenge.
That's what's up, because Bring the Fire is just like us on the playground. You know, back in the day when you just go one-on-one, figure it out. The ref's usually not there, but here you have an opportunity. There's no foul there. I don't see it. So let's go. Ball up. Good job for Ricky Davis. It's really my favorite. Game. I get so excited about Bring the Fire, man. This is phenomenal that Cube, I added that to the Big 3, because when you bring the fire, you have an opportunity to just say, hey, man up, one-on-one. If the offense can score on you, then you get the points, and if you don't, it's a stop.
It's unique to the Big 3. It's the biggest rule change entering year 4 in the league. Davis getting the stop, and the Ghost Ballers are 2 points away from notching a win in Milwaukee.
Absolutely, but with that stop, now Ghost Ballers has a chance to get the ball and win the game.
Scales chased by Chalmers. Alex Scales turns the corner. Leaner, no. 3's company still alive. Good corner tray. Too much.
With the air ball.
Johnson, that won't go.
Ghost Ballers gave up already, because you have to really come up with this ball, but instead they stopped playing.
Alex Scales with the finish, and Lisa Leslie, game 1 to George Gervin's team, 50-38 over 3's company in Milwaukee.
Ghost Ballers, nice job, great teamwork. They shared the ball. You see balanced scoring with Mike Taylor leading the way with 14 points. Alex Scales, nice addition to the team. He finishes with 12 points. Ricky Davis, the captain, 11, and Chris Johnson, 11 as well.
Nice no look by Chris Johnson for the game winner. And the Ghost Ballers end the game on a 9-0 run to improve to 4-1 on the season. Oh, the triplets still unbeaten, but the Ghost Ballers, Lisa, with their 4th victory as we look at the Big 3 standings, 1 game down and 5 to go here in Milwaukee.
Well, I said it before in week 3, Ghost Ballers, they are a problem, and they're a problem for this league because they have understood and found a way to win week in and week out, and they play together. They're very unselfish. They hustle. They beat you to a lot of loose balls and giving themselves second and third chance opportunities. We, now speaking as a coach of the triplets, we look forward to playing them, but right now, we're going to just keep an eye out, because Mike Taylor, I'm really pulling for this guy to have an opportunity to get a chance to play for the Milwaukee Bucks. He deserves it.
Speaking of which, hometown guy with John Sally after a Ghost Ballers win.
So Mike Taylor, it was Mike Taylor Day yesterday. That means that you can get anything you want free in Milwaukee.
Yes.
That's it. You play really well. Did you hurt your leg today?
He probably did.
He probably did, because what he's trying to say is, oh, how's your leg, Coach?
It's good. It'll be good. I mean, it has to be good. You know what I'm saying? We got 1 day to recover, and we in Chicago, so it's time.
So what happened to it?
I just felt a little tweak when I made my move on the bump. You know what I'm saying? Which it should have been a foul. They standing me up, but it's all good.
I just noticed that you knew you missed the layup, and then your leg started hurting.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't because I missed the layup. My leg started hurting.
That's the way it looked to me, Mike.
You got it.
All right, good luck, good win. All right.
Spider playing a little judge and jury with Mike Taylor, but it's a win for the Ghost Ballers. And yes, 2 games in 3 days in the Midwest, taking care of business against 3's company. One game down, 5 to go. It's week 5 in the Big 3.